Hi, myself Gina Esraj. I hope all are doing well. Today I like to present about the topic remote counseling. At first, I like to give a brief introduction about what is remote counseling. Remote counseling, sometimes called telemental health application, internet-based psychotherapy, online therapy, e-therapy, e-counseling, teletherapy, or cyber counseling. It is a form of psychotherapy or related psychological practice in which trained psychotherapist meets with a client or patient via telephone, cellular phone, the internet, or other electronic media. The definition given by National Board of Certified Counselors, remote counseling or online counseling defined as technology assisted distance counseling for individuals, couples and groups involves the use of the telephone or the computer to enable counselors and clients to communicate at a distance when circumstances make this approach necessary or convenient. What are the tools that used in remote counseling? The primary tools that used in remote counseling are email, mobile device apps, real-time instant messaging, telephone, text-based chats, video conferencing through the apps like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, etc. Who is suitable for online counseling? Australian Counselling Association, that means ACA, provides certain guidelines followed in the online counseling. On that, they give detailed explanation about who is counselor and who is the counselee. Australian Counselling Association emphasizes that all practitioners in the psychological therapies, including all forms of counseling and psychotherapy, should be properly qualified and accountable for the work they undertake. Next, we move into what are the things that considered in online counseling if we come from direct or face-to-face counseling. According to Australian Counselling Association, the counselors and the practitioners will need to consider their ability to deal competently with a number of issues beyond those involved in face-to-face therapy. The first one is the shift from verbal to online communication skills, in which the counselor and the counselee are able to communicate properly through online. The second one is the importance and difficulties of building and maintaining an adequate therapeutic relationship with the client in online. Because the professional relationship between the counselor and the counselee is very important during the counseling sessions. Third one is the importance of greater clarification than in face-to-face work so that misunderstanding do not occur in online counseling. The fourth one is assessment issues and skills when working online. In online counseling, there are certain limitations like the counselor could not observe the body language so that the counselor have the skill to assess and diagnose the issues faced by the counselee. The fifth one is appreciation of appropriate administrative practices like legal obligations, data storage, etc. And the last one is adequate knowledge of technical questions relating to the security, privacy, etc. because confidentiality should be maintained in online counseling. Next, clarity of contracting in remote counseling. The terms and conditions should be properly communicated to the clients before the counseling section. It helps to avoid misunderstanding among the counselor and the counselee. There must be a direct therapeutic contract between practitioner and the client, and careful consideration should be given to identifying topics that must be covered in an initial exchange of messages before counseling begins and the contract is formed. According to Australian Counselling Association, the followed criteria should be ensured in contracting. The first one is time taken. In each session, how long time will be taken ensured in the contract. The second one is fees and fee structure. How to pay and how much have to pay and the mode of payment should be ensured in the contract. The third one is applicable laws and terms of contract. In contract, which nation's laws should be taken as governing the contract? This is particularly important in relation to your insurance boundaries. The fourth one is procedures, processes, and techniques that will or may be offered that should be ensured in the contract. And the fifth one is use of attached files. Some practitioners or clients may prefer not to open attachment because of the risk of viruses, so that it should be ensured in the contract. And the sixth one is alternative means of communication. In the event of breakdown of either party's hardware or software, the alternative tool that used in communication should be ensured in it. And the seventh one is confidentiality. In the contract, confidentiality ensured like did not disclose the data provided by the client. And the eighth one is emergency procedures. This step they may taken by either counselor or counselee in an emergency situation, including alternative sources of help, release of information to third parties ensured in the contract. And the next one is appropriate disclaimer. In the contract, awareness of copyright implications, especially regarding attachment, should be ensured. Any other relevant terms and conditions have to add in this contract. Then we will move to the benefits of online counseling. There are a lot of benefits in remote counseling. They are first one is accessibility. There can be many physical barriers to getting therapy. For example, maybe the person live in a remote area or access to adequate transportation. Remote counseling benefits from therapy regardless of mobility issues. The second one is flexibility. It is flexible to those who have time constraints. Third one is affordability. It helps to allow to offer affordable treatment options. There is no cost associated with traveling to an online therapy session. The next benefits of online counseling is convenience. Online counseling can schedule as per your convenient time that is always already we discussed. And next one is privacy. In online therapy, you can schedule sessions for when you are home alone. It helps to enjoy privacy. And next, ventilation. Through writing, reframing, communicating, the client have to ventilate all his or her negative emotions. Clients feel more free to write and express their feelings. Art of writing have the advantage of enhancing self-reflection. And the next one is the presenting problem is externalized while the helper is internalized. In which the in online counseling, it helps to improve the self-awareness. It also leads to the solution of problem. Next, the consequences of online counseling. The first one is network issues. Sometimes network problem also affect in the communication. It is the main problem in the online counseling. The second one is insurance companies may not cover it. Some insurance policies do not cover online counseling, and also some mental health professionals do not accept insurance as payment. And next, some states do not allow out of state providers. Many states do not allow out of state psychologists to provide services. The next consequences of online counseling is confidentiality, privacy, unreliable technology. Keeping our personal information private is a major concern in psychotherapy. Confidentiality is more important in online counseling. Information is being transmitted online. There is a chance to privacy leaks and hacks more of a concern. Technology problems can also make it difficult to assess treatment when you really need it. The next one is lack of response to crisis situation. It is difficult for the counselor and the counselee to respond quickly and effectively when a crisis happens. If a client is experiencing suicidal thoughts or has a suffered personal tragedy, it can be difficult to provide direct assistance. The next one is not appropriate for serious psychiatric illness. The scope of online therapy can be limited so that typically it is not effective in more complex situations. Next one is overlooks in body language. The feelings, thoughts, moods, and behaviors of counselee expressed through his or her body language. In online counseling, it did not allows the clear picture of the counselee, so that it's difficult to assess the situation of the counselee that is faced. The next one is ethical and legal concerns. In online counseling, there is a difficulty to understand therapist's qualification and experience before he or she have. These are the consequences of online counseling that we faced. In the COVID-19 pandemic situation, telecounseling and online counseling are quite common. It helps to give psychological support at the time of need. The scope and methods of online counseling in the hands of skilled practitioners is still in the pioneering stage. Online counseling practice offers almost all clients a unique experience that easily stands on its own merit. these are the references that are used, and thank you.